So you remember when there was that scandal a few weeks back about Ilhan Omar's comments, and a news cycle several days long was devoted to breaking every single letter of her tweets down. And then we actually had a condemnation on the floor of the House that a bunch of Republicans ended up voting against because it was denouncing Islamophobia. All of that around Ilhan Omar's comments. Well, weeks later, we have not moved on as a country. At AIPAC, there's one person on everyone's mind, and it is still Ilhan Omar. They're not all referencing her specifically by name, but people that are both Democrats, Republicans, pundits, and politicians all bringing her up. And so I want to break down this pile on one person at a time. And the first is Chuck Schumer, a guy who will apparently go to his grave still talking about this story. Let's go to a little video of Chuck Schumer not just denouncing Ilhan Omar, but literally comparing her to Nazis.
When someone names only prominent Jews as trying to buy or steal our elections, we must call it out. When someone says that being Jewish and supporting Israel means you're not loyal to America, we must call it out. When someone looks at a neo-Nazi rally and sees some very fine people among its company, we must call it out. When someone suggests that money drives support for Israel, we must call it out.
Yeah, someday an autopsy is going to be done on America, and the cause of death will be both sides. And so there he is saying that if you bring up the corrosive influence of money in politics, you are no different than groups of Nazis that marched in America and killed a protester. It was worthy of as much talk by Chuck Schumer right there. Same exact thing. Now, yes, he did reference the Nazis. He referenced, I think that was about either Glenn Beck or Tucker Carlson in the beginning, about saying that they're the only ones that are buying politicians. I'm not entirely sure. He was being very vague there. There are actual Nazis. There are actual people whose entire career has been based on Islamophobia, anti-Semitism, homophobia, racism, misogyny in the media. And then there are people who sent a tweet that people didn't like. You can say justifiably or not justifiably, but to compare those things is insanity. But on this issue, Chuck Schumer is insane. Take a look at a quote from last year's AIPAC from Chuck Schumer. He was talking about why there isn't peace between Israel and Palestinians right now. Obviously, that is a complex topic. There's a lot that goes into that. I'm not an expert on that topic. But I can identify what's not the actual cause of that. And look at what Chuck Schumer said. He said, of course, we say it's our land, the Torah says it, but they don't believe in the Torah. So that's the reason there's not peace. Chuck Schumer is free in America to believe whatever he wants, but the idea that there is not peace between Israelis and Palestinians because the Palestinians have chosen the wrong religion, I don't think that that's actually the reason. But look, Chuck Schumer, one of the most powerful Democrats in the country at AIPAC, feels free to say that this entire population has chosen wrong when it comes to religion, and that's why they're still being occupied. That's why they're still in the squalor and oppression that they're in. That was just last year. That's not a quote from 10 years ago. It's not a quote from 30 years ago. That was last year, and now both sidesism. Ilhan Omar, American Nazis. Who can actually say which is worse? But it wasn't just Chuck Schumer. He was on the same side of this issue effectively as people like Mike Pence, who said, it's astonishing to think that the party of Harry Truman has been co-opted by people who promote rank anti-Semitic rhetoric. And as I stand before you, 8 Democrat candidates for president are actually boycotting this very conference. So let me be clear on this point. Anyone who aspires to the highest office in the land should not be afraid to stand with the strongest supporters of Israel in America. It is wrong to boycott Israel, and it's wrong to boycott AIPAC. So there are like a lot of things to break down there. I'm going to start at the end and then work my way back. He said it's wrong to boycott Israel, and it's wrong to boycott AIPAC. It's not wrong to boycott anything. It can be silly in a particular case to boycott something, but it is your right to not go to a thing or pay for a thing if that's not what you want to do. But in this particular case especially, AIPAC is a lobbying group. To say that it is the same to boycott a country and a lobbying group is insanity. But that is his position. Now you move back a little bit. He's saying there's 8 Democrat candidates for president who are boycotting it. Oh my God, I did not know that actually. There are politicians who aren't going to AIPAC. What are their chances in this primary? How could anyone get elected, especially, as he says, to the highest office in the land if they don't go to AIPAC? It would never actually happen. Except, weirdly, Trump didn't go in 2015 and 2016. Also, he skipped this year. He's not going to AIPAC right now. So as his vice president is saying no one could get elected who doesn't go, Trump is off playing virtual golf in the White House or something. But that, of course, was lost on him. And then rank anti-Semitic rhetoric. So this is not a thing where Ilhan Omar needs to choose her words more carefully or whatever. This was rank anti-Semitism. This is the worst anti-Semitism. You can't say anything any more anti-Semitic. So that is where we're at. Weeks and weeks after this scandal initially started. You've got some of the most powerful Democrats and the most powerful Republicans dogpiling on top of Ilhan Omar over these comments that she has already done so much work to refine what she intended, to work to sort of bridge the gap with that community if it exists in her own district. But that's what's continuing. By the way, there was another person who had a problem with Ilhan Omar, and this was sort of a funny interaction. Benjamin Netanyahu. He said, from this Benjamin, it's not about the Benjamins, referencing one of her tweets. That's sort of a funny line. But I have a funnier one I like better. So Ilhan Omar responded by saying, this from a man facing indictments for bribery and other crimes in 3 separate public corruption affairs. So perhaps it is about the Benjamins, but it's more of an internal corruption and bribery thing. Maybe choose your words a little bit more carefully. Thank you very much for watching this clip from The Damage Report. If you liked it, don't forget to subscribe to this channel and ring the bell on YouTube to get notifications of our new videos. And of course, you can catch the full Damage Report live every weekday at 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific on TYT Network on YouTube TV.